Previously, in Chapter 15, we explored the cosmic tree of life, the roots of our bondage, and the eternal nature of the soul. We saw how one must detach from the lower branches to taste the real fruit of liberation. Now in Chapter 16, Krishna holds nothing back. He opens the curtain fully, exposing the two forces ruling our inner world, the Daivi Sampat, the divine nature, and the Ashuri Sampat, the demoniac tendencies. These are not mythical creatures or outside evils. These are you. The war between light and shadow rages inside every one of us, every single day. Krishna begins by outlining the qualities of the divine: fearlessness, purity of heart, self-control, study of sacred texts, austerity, straightforwardness, non-violence, truthfulness, compassion, humility, and absence of ego. These are not traits to admire from afar. They are a map of your highest self. The divine qualities lead to liberation, Krishna says, the demoniac to bondage, verse 5. Pause. Feel that. Every time you act from jealousy, pride, cruelty, or deceit, you're feeding the prison that keeps you spinning in pain. The demoniac person, Krishna explains, is full of pride, arrogance, anger, harshness, and ignorance. They believe the world is without truth, without moral order, without a divine, created only by desire and chance. Sound familiar? This isn't just ancient poetry. This is the modern spiritual crisis. When the mind is ruled by ego and the senses, it justifies anything: greed, cruelty, and domination. They are bound by 100 ties of hope, given over to lust and anger. Krishna warns, and they hoard wealth unjustly for sensual pleasure, verse 12. This is the soul's battle, not between nations, but between the divine voice within you and the chaotic roar of your lower mind. Krishna doesn't sugarcoat it. The Asuric path ends in downfall, rebirth into lower realms, deeper entanglement in suffering. Those who are envious and cruel, I hurl them down again and again, he says, into wombs of delusion, verse 19. These are not punishments from a God outside of you. They're consequences of a mind disconnected from truth. But don't be afraid. This is not a sermon of fear. It's a call to remember who you are. Krishna tells Arjuna, you were born with divine qualities, verse 5. That spark, that purity, that eternal nature, it's already within you. All you need is remembrance. Every small act of honesty, of self-restraint, of compassion strengthens the divine in you. You are not fighting to become something else. You are fighting to return to what you've always been. That is the Gita's secret. There is a fire within you that knows the difference. When you speak a lie, you feel it. When you act out of ego, you feel it. That discomfort is not guilt. It is your divine self calling you back. Krishna doesn't ask you to be perfect. He asks you to become aware. He draws a sharp line between those who worship their own pride and those who bow to the divine within all. One leads to chaos, the other to peace. The question is, which will you feed? This chapter isn't meant to shame or divide. It's here to awaken. The world outside may tell you that ruthlessness wins, that selfishness is strength, but Krishna tells you otherwise. The strong are those who control their impulses. The rich are those content with little. The wise are those who serve. These are the divine warriors. And Arjuna? That includes you. Every time you choose truth over gain, stillness over reaction, courage over convenience, you fight the real war. And maybe you've slipped. Maybe your anger still wins. Maybe your ego still bites. Krishna knows. That's why he gave you this chapter, to shine a light in the shadow. There's no joy in pointing fingers. There's only joy in remembering that you are not your lower self. You are the seer behind it. And the more you listen to that voice, the more you feed the divine, the easier it becomes to rise, to soften, to choose love when hate is easier. That's how liberation begins. Not in temples or retreats, but in the battlefield of your daily mind. So breathe, reflect. The divine and demoniac are not static labels. They are flowing forces. Which one rules your day? Which one ruled your morning, your last argument, your last silence? You are free to choose again. This is your battlefield, not to judge yourself, but to awaken. Krishna doesn't demand that you become holy overnight. He asks that you be aware and choose again and again and again. As the chapter ends, Krishna reminds Arjuna, therefore, the scriptures are your guide in determining what is to be done and what is not to be done. Knowing what is prescribed in them, you should act here in this world. Verse 24. The Gita is not abstract philosophy. It is a manual for living, right now, right here. Don't wait for a better time. The war is happening already, within your thoughts, in your decisions, and the divine is waiting for your sword to rise. Not in violence, but in clarity. Let this chapter serve as a mirror, not to shame you, but to bring you back to yourself. You are the battlefield. You are the warrior. You are also the peace that ends the war. And Krishna walks with you not in judgment, but as a friend, a whisper, a presence inside you that says, choose again. Pause here. Let these words settle. Because in chapter 17, Krishna goes even deeper. He reveals that not just actions, but your faith, your food, your words, and your worship can be sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. We explore how your belief system itself shapes your destiny, and how your spiritual path, even if sincere, can either uplift or bind you based on its quality. You don't want to miss this. What you eat, speak, and worship matters more than you think.